Moving on in our abnormal psychology unit, we have anxiety disorder. So that's very common. In fact, as we're going to see, it is the most common diagnosed disorder in the United States. Okay, so just a couple things to remember. Everyday anxiety is something that happens, but it's different than an anxiety disorder. As you'll see from the little chart here, like you worry about paying a bill or landing a job or that a romance broke up. That happens. But constant and unsubstantiated worry, that's a problem. Okay. You're worried about embarrassing yourself, but by avoiding social situations completely because you're worried about being embarrassed, that's a different level. You have a case of the nerves are sweat before a big test or a business presentation. That's normal. But out of the blue, panic attacks like that don't have anything prompting it, that's a problem. So you can see like the difference between like we all experience anxiety, but the difference between that and an anxiety disorder, it's the irrational part that becomes an anxiety disorder where like you don't even have something prompting it, and it causes that. All right, so that's the key here. All right, and now you can do the notes a couple different ways. I have a sheet that you can download. I have a sheet that you can download, and you can use that, and you can print it. You can open it up in Cami or in Doc Hub, and you can actually edit it that way. Or you can just write this on a piece of paper, take a picture and upload it for me so I know you got it. All right, now I have an acronym here. It's terrible, but it's something to at least stick what we need to know. So I just want to first talk about the types of anxiety and very, very briefly talk about the differences. So we have this acronym GOPS. So we have GOPS of anxiety happening, GOPS and GOPS of anxiety happening. I know that's really bad. So first off, we have generalized anxiety disorder. Generalized anxiety disorder. So get that down. Generalized anxiety disorder. As always, pause it when you need to. So this is just like again excessive anxiety. It's difficult to control, and you're irritable. You have muscle tension. You feel easily fatigued. So it's just a common generalized anxiety disorder. All right, so that's G. All right, so practice. G is what? Say it to yourself. Generalized anxiety disorder. Good job. Okay, here we go. OCD, which we already covered in our last unit on personality disorders, but OCD is a type of anxiety disorder. We know that fear drives it. We already talked about how you're worried about cleanliness, hoarding. You may be orderliness. You create rules. These things are OCD. Okay, here we go. First two. G is generalized anxiety disorder. Good. O is for OCD. Good job. Here we go. All right. Panic disorder. Panic disorder, you have a sense of dread. And sudden, you have a rapid heartbeat. You might shake and feel wobbly legs. So, like panic is exactly what it sounds like. You literally have a panic attack. And here's the key though there's not like a super great reason for it. It's kind of sudden, it comes on suddenly, or maybe it's a small trigger that triggers this. So, that's a panic disorder. All right, let's try to do all of them together. So, here we go G, O, P. Panic disorder. Good job. So generalized OCD, panic disorder. Here we go. Post traumatic stress disorder. A lot of people are familiar with this when we talk about people from the military, but post traumatic stress can happen to really anyone because it just means that you witnessed or went through a really traumatic stress situation. Like for example, maybe someone was in a car wreck and maybe they relived that, and so that's the re-experiencing that causes the kind of panic. It causes you to be on edge, and that ends up being the anxiety part of it. So post traumatic stress. All right, so see if you can think of this through your head right now. Post traumatic stress. Good job. All right, so in your head, be thinking through it. And the last one, major anxiety disorder, is social phobia. And in this kind of you can see it's kind of like a never ending circle where it's like you're worried about, no one will want to talk to me if I go to a social situation. So then you avoid others. With that, avoiding others means you make a negative impression. By making a negative impression, people don't really like you. So therefore you are like, well, people don't like me. So then it continues the process. So you can see it's this never ending cycle. It's almost like your negativity breeds negativity, which ends up making your fear come true. A self-fulfilling prophecy that social phobia can be. All right, so that's the last one. All right, cool. So I'm going to put up the screen. I just want you to think through each of them right now, the 5 types of generalized anxiety disorders. All right, you should know them now. There's practice on this too, by the way. All right, cool. Real quick, it's the most commonly diagnosed mental disorder in the US. So if you're writing notes on a piece of paper, just put most commonly diagnosed. 28.8% of people at some point in their life will have some sort of anxiety disorder for at least a short period of time. And by the way, just to clarify again, simply experiencing anxiety and stress itself, that happens. All of us have that. We have a big test. We have some presentation. We have to do something. It's really stressful. But professional help comes in when it's something that can't be controlled and it lasts for a long time. And you also start having it in situations that really shouldn't be stressful. Now, there are physical and mental impacts of anxiety, and I want to go through each of them so you understand like the physical effects you have. Like anxiety is a mental disorder, but impacts us physically, and then there's also mental issues. Okay, so first off, muscle tension. We'll feel it. I always get it like in my shoulders if I know I'm stressed because I'll feel it in my shoulders. Physically weak. You're just tired. Your body is riled up, and it just makes you tired. So muscle tension, physical weakness, sweaty hands. Everybody always thinks of like, you're in middle school or high school and like you're with that girl or guy that you like, and then you start sweating because you're like nervous. That's a type of anxiety. Shortness of breath, and then an upset stomach. So all of these are physical ailments that can happen as a result of the anxiety that you're feeling. Mental impacts, poor attention. So you have trouble focusing. Confusion. Okay, like just confused, like you just can't think. Thinking ability is bad. Inability to relax. You just mentally, you just can't relax. Constant worry. And that's the key here, that you just can't go away. By the way, for a short time, all of us might have this. If something is going through your life that's difficult, then you might have worry for a few weeks or something. A disorder would be much longer term. And then poor memory, like trouble forgetting things and your attention. You can see these are all mental processes that are disrupted by anxiety. Cool. Pause it if you need to. All right. Really quick. Anxiety disorders are readily treatable. Usually psychotherapy and anti-anxiety medications. So this is something that can be taken care of effectively with the right doctor and searching out the right therapy. And then lastly, a lot of people who take anxiety disorders and have take medication for anxiety disorders may just take them on an as needed basis. So like, it's not like if you have anxiety, it's not like you need to be on it forever. Like you might know, all right, I'm good now, but oh wait, the situation's coming up. It's stressful, or I am stressed now because of something happening. I have a sick person in my family, so I need it then. And then as needed, that's good. It's not always all the time. All right, cool. All right, so that's our lesson on anxiety disorders. There's a couple different practices for you to do. So make sure you do the sorts and stuff. All right, thanks.